So, pretty much have no idea what I'm doing. I just know that it's really hard to talk about losing my dad. Mostly because people just don't understand. They don't understand losing someone of that magnitude in your life. And when I think about it, it makes me really angry, among other things, just because he's not here anymore. And I miss him a lot. And there's moments where I find myself just sitting here wondering what I'm supposed to do with myself anymore. Just because my dad meant a lot to me. And a lot of things that I did in life were focused on making him happy. Like, that's the only reason why I'm here right now. Like, here in Pullman at WSU, getting a degree, because I wanted to see him be proud of me for doing something. And now that he's gone, like, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. And I hate the fact that he's never gonna get to see me accomplish things in my life. And it's not just that he's not gonna get to see it. I'm not gonna get to see his reaction of him being proud or happy or anything like that. It's really hard to deal with, especially when you're so close to someone like my dad. I didn't realize it until after he died, but he was my best friend. He was the person I was most closest to. And now he's gone. And I just don't know what to do anymore. Like, I just don't talk about it with anyone because no one understands that just like every day is a struggle to just keep moving on, even though that's what I know he'd want me to, because I know he'd want me to be happy no matter what I did. No matter what I did, I know he'd be happy for me, but I just don't know. And I can take solace in the fact that it wasn't totally unexpected, but it hurts so much not having one of your parents around, especially when you're so close to them. And it just makes me realize how much I took for granted everything. Like, everything. And I realize now how much my dad actually did for me. Even from like when I was a kid, he raised me because my mom was working, because she was the only one working at the time. So he would, take care of me during the day before I started kindergarten when we moved to Yakima. And then even when he was working, even when both my parents were working and I wasn't old enough to take care of myself, he would come pick me up from daycare, and he'd always make me dinner because my mom was working till 11 o'clock every night. So even then, he still took care of me and helped me with my homework, and we'd watch Mariner games together. That was like the one thing we always did. Even though the Mariners suck, they suck so much. It was like one thing that we got to do together all the time. And every time that I just think about sports, like, I love sports. I've always loved sports. Or loved sports. And that was the one thing that we shared together, but now I don't have the passion for it like I used to. And I don't know if it's because of my dad or just because I've been dealing with everything that's gone on since he died. It's just, even though the game, I don't remember who the Seahawks played, but the weekend after he died, I couldn't watch it. It was just way too hard. I'm too emotional. I just can't do it anymore. And I feel like I'm losing passion for life. And having to cope with that is so hard. Like, I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm not saying that I don't want to live, but I just don't know what to do. Like, I have no direction. I'm just so focused on getting out of here and graduating, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I feel so worthless and so lost. And I've realized that now that my dad's gone, I need to find myself. And it's not just this sudden realization because my dad's gone, it's been multiple things that have happened in my life over the past year and a half that have made me realize that I don't have a drive and I don't have a focus and I don't have a certain number of things or anything that makes me want to get out of bed in the morning or makes the struggle worth it, if that makes sense. It's just, I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. And having to cope with that is so hard. And sometimes it's easier. It's been easy for the past, month and a half since my dad passed away to just ignore it. But every time I see his picture and every time I do things that remind me of him, I have a mental almost breakdown. Like, it's not visible and you can't see it, but it's very mental. And I wonder why he had to be taken at this point in my life when I need him most. Like, people don't understand what I went through this summer because I didn't work. I went back home after in May, and from May to August, I just took care of him. I did two fun things all summer. I went to two concerts, and they were there and back trips because I wanted to stay home and take care of my dad, and that was the hardest thing because I could tell he was losing it. Not like mentally, but he wasn't gonna be there that much longer. And I remember leaving in August to come back to school, and as I was walking up to my car, I thought to myself that that could have been the last time that I saw my dad, and I didn't want to think like that, but I was right, and it was the last time I saw my dad. The last time I saw my dad was August 17th, because that's when I left to come back here. And I remember it very clearly. He was sitting in his chair, and he had a Seahawks hat on because he's very excited for the upcoming season. And there was no way he was gonna get up. So I hugged him, and he said, "Drive safe." That was everything. He would always say that to me. He'd always, "Drive safe, drive careful." Now he's gone. I just don't. I don't like having to live with the fact that I'm never gonna get to see my dad again in person, and I'm never gonna get to sit on his lap and have him just wrap an arm around me, and we can just sit there for 2 minutes until I get too heavy for him. Or he's never gonna get to hug me, and he's never gonna get to yell at me, and I'm never gonna get super annoyed with him. It's just the little things. Not even the big things. It's just the little things that I'm gonna miss the most, that I already missed the most. That I even missed the most over the past year because he just wasn't himself because of the cancer. And Even in the last year of his life, I still took it for granted, even though I knew subconsciously or not subconsciously or anything that I just knew I wasn't going to have my dad for as long as I wanted. And I'm 22 years old and I have the rest of my life ahead of me. But I don't want to live it without my dad. I don't even know why I'm making this video. It's just so much easier just to talk. Because I don't have anyone to talk to. Because I don't trust anyone enough to break down and cry in front of them. I don't think I've cried in front of anyone since this has happened. It's just at night, even when I was home for the funeral, you keep it together in front of everyone else, and then when you're by yourself is when you process and you come to terms. I don't even think I've come to terms with it yet. Even though I know I'm never gonna get to see him again. It's just, I don't want to believe it. And if it's living in denial, then it's living in denial. And I know, even though I know, I just know I'm never gonna get to see him again. But I still have that hope that I'm gonna check my phone and there's gonna be a text message from him, or he's gonna call me, and or I get to call him and hear his voice. I miss his voice so much. The last conversation, he died on a Tuesday morning. The last conversation I had with him was on a Sunday, and it was about sports, and it was so fitting. And I meant to call him because the last Seahawks game he got to see was against the 49ers, and I meant to call him the next day and ask him what he thought of the game because I didn't get to see it because I had to work. But I was so busy, I just didn't. And I'm so angry at myself for not doing it, even though I probably wouldn't have got to talk to him anyway. It's just, I can't stand people not having good relationships with their parents, regardless of anything. Life's too short to hold grudges like that against your parents. I mean, there was countless times where I got angry with my parents, and there's still countless times, even now, that I've gotten upset and angry at my mom. But that's just part of the dynamic in the relationship that people should have with their families. It's just, you don't know what the last conversation you're gonna have with your family is. Although I do think it's fitting, the last conversation I had with my dad was about sports. It's just, if I could go back and redo it, I would in a heartbeat. And tell him how much I loved him. Even though I did always say that was always the way you end a conversation with my dad. Especially if he was telling him that I loved him and he said he loved me back. I would give anything to hear that again right now. I would give anything to have a 5-minute conversation with my dad right now. It's just not fair. And then I feel so bad. I just feel bad. I don't know why. I have all these feelings and these emotions and I can't justify or quantify them, and people say that I shouldn't have to, but I feel like I need to. I don't even know anymore. I want my dad back. I want a time turner and I want to go back in time. I want to be able to hug my dad and tell him that how much I love him and how grateful I was that even through all the shit that he put me through, that he still loved me no matter what. Even though I'm gonna know that and I'm gonna have that memory for the rest of my life, it's just hard that I'm not gonna get to have it again. 22 years is way too short to only have with your father. I knew my dad the least. My mom and my sister knew him more than I did, yet I was the closest to him out of the three of us. Even though some people might disagree with that, it's true. My mom always said that he told my sister and I that he loved us more than he ever did my mom, but that was the last thing that he said to her. Almost like he knew. So yeah, I just miss my dad a lot. As evidenced by this stupid goddamn video of me crying for 15 minutes that no one is probably ever gonna see. Because I don't trust anyone to let them see me vulnerable like this. I've said that a lot. I realized. And I'm sniffling a lot because I'm crying because I miss my dad so much. He's never gonna get to walk me down the aisle if I ever get married. He's never gonna get to see any of the grandkids I have. Or kids I have would be his grandkids. He's never gonna get to see me bowl with 300. He's never gonna get to see me roll a 700 series. He's gonna miss out on a lot. And it's not just him missing out on it, like I said, it's me missing out on seeing his reaction to it. And that's what I'm gonna miss a lot. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself anymore. I can't believe it's already November 6th, and that in 11 days, it'll be 2 months since I lost my dad. Like, it feels like just yesterday. It feels like just this morning that my mom called at 7 o'clock in the morning telling me that he passed away at 2:30. You know, it doesn't feel like how this much time has passed that I've not been able to talk to my dad. Like, it just feels like he's on vacation in a remote location where I can't call him and he can't call me and there's no contact. I'm still expecting him to just call me all the time, and I still expect him to be able to Skype with me when he's super bored at work, and we would just sit and talk about nothing. We did that a lot my first year here because he missed me a lot, and I know that he was really grateful what I did for him this summer. I put my life on hold, pretty much, even though I hated it because he annoyed the shit out of me. But I would do it again in a heartbeat, of course, because it's my dad, especially knowing now that he wasn't going to be here that much longer. I would do it again, of course. I would do a lot of things differently, but fortunately, or unfortunately, you can't go back in time. So it makes you realize that time is precious, and that you need to make the best out of the time that you have now. If anything, over the past month and a half, that's what I've learned. And it's not just through family, it's through friends. Some of my friends know what I'm going through and they still refuse to be there for me. And some people know that I'm moving back home in a month and still claim they're too busy to hang out. And I can't force it. That's their own choice. And if they don't want to be friends with me, then they don't want to be friends with me. Like I said, life's too short. And I've learned that life is too short to keep hanging on to people that aren't reliable and aren't going to be there for you. Even though that's a tough pill to swallow, because I should just stop there. I'm going for almost 20 minutes. This isn't going to make any sense, and I'm going to watch this back and probably cry some more, but I just wanted to get this off my chest. It feels a little better, even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I guess the moral of what I'm trying to say is that I really miss my dad. And I have a hole in my heart that's never going to be filled. And it's a pretty giant hole. And I just hope one day it can be smaller. and that I can learn to trust and to love people again. Because right now I don't. I don't trust anyone, and it sucks. But over the past month and a half, I've realized that true colors show very bright in times of need, regardless of the situation, and that I need to stop putting so much effort into friendships and relationships and anything that's not worth it. I think above all, that's what I've realized. So, in a way, I guess I should thank my dad because he helped me realize that. Him passing away has helped me realize that I don't need the BS in my life. Even though I want to have certain people in my life, if they're not willing to put in as much effort as I am, I need to let it go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it go. Slowly. Alright, I'm gonna not talk anymore. I'm just gonna go to bed. Thanks for watching. If someone watches this, I'm terribly sorry. I look ugly when I cry. I keep sniffling. It happens. So, good night.